Watch out!
Boy, oh boy, 2024 was a weird year, guys. It's safe to say the relative Nintendo drought plus the many PlatinumGames departures didn't help make the year any more normal than we could have hoped for. One thing is for sure though, we could all use a little bit of Bayonetta in our 2025 to help our mental states. The queen who so rightfully fills our TV screens with confidence and poise, intelligence and wit, and best of all, the teachings of some of life's best lessons. We have the power to take control of our futures. We can do anything if we put our minds to it. This wonderful gaming protagonist means so much to so many of us, so it only stands to reason that we want to see her again soon. But after her absence following Bayonetta 3 and her future being uncertain, we can't help but wonder where the series will go from here. We caught a glimpse of Bayonetta's past in the delightful game Bayonetta Origins, something that's well worth your time if you haven't played it already, but there's still so much more to explore with the character of Bayonetta and the lore of her world. Most of the world building is locked to nothing more than text logs in each game, but this rich universe has many directions it can take, and we're only 4 games into her journey over the span of a decade and a half. We've been waiting patiently. We've endured countless fights over the direction Bayonetta 3 took with its story, countless mockery by people who know nothing about the games or character, just slandering the fans for speaking up with their opinions, countless years of the series and character of Bayonetta being surrounded by controversy. We can't catch a break, and neither can Bayonetta apparently. But one group of people have the power to fix everything. The healing code, the empowering touch, and that group of people is the little development studio known as PlatinumGames. Now packed with new talent, with most of the original crew completely gone from the company, PlatinumGames is in a peculiar spot. It's up to these newer individuals to forge the future of Bayonetta, and for the sake of their entire careers in the industry, they need to make sure they don't f it up. By the looks of recent social media posts within the past year or two though, it kinda looks like they're taking things in the right direction. Fans of PlatinumGames view Bayonetta as their mascot of sorts, and contrary to her apparent death at the end of Bayonetta 3, PlatinumGames only just now seems to be acknowledging this. Many posts on their social media have been blessed with the presence of a cute little Bayonetta doll. Pretty much all of Platinum's posts regarding holidays or events have Bayonetta, in her chibi form, helping present the info. It's a cute little marketing toy that shows good faith that PlatinumGames knows we love Bayonetta, and that there can only be one Bayonetta, even if Bayonetta 3's story tried to say otherwise. The most recent post from PlatinumGames and the news we're here to talk about today doesn't need the chibi Bayonetta doll though, because according to Platinum themselves, 2025 will be their year of Bayonetta. Not only do they plan on celebrating the 15th anniversary of Bayonetta with monthly wallpapers for all of us to download, but they stated that they have several bits of news for the franchise coming to our ears and eyes throughout the year. Now, what these could be is literally an endless mountain of ideas and possibilities. I don't know about you guys, but after the treat that was Bayonetta Origins, I sure as hell would be happy with another spin-off game coming this year, if it's at all possible. I'd even be happy if it was a game revolving around one of the fan-favorite side characters, like Jean, Rodin, Rosa, or even Baldur. On top of that, we know the Switch 2 is releasing this year, as stated by Nintendo themselves, so we could be seeing a Bayonetta 3 Definitive Edition for this new console. I know, many people want to pretend Bayonetta 3 never existed, but here's my take on the whole situation. We can't get around the fact that Bayonetta 3 is canon. We also mostly all agree that the gameplay and spectacle of 3 was phenomenal, regardless of the direction the story took. There are some people who don't agree, but most of us do agree on that, at the very least. My opinion is that it would definitely be better for PlatinumGames to simply fix the story of 3 and add to it with a definitive edition. Bayonetta 3 is not some unfixable mess. They've already taken steps to help fix the story with Bayonetta Origins, and that worked really well so far. PlatinumGames could expand on the story of 3 even more in many ways to fix it. They could show the journey of the Records of Time Bayonettas that we saw at the end of 3, and how they arrived there to help Arc Soreza, which actually was supposed to be included in the game and ended up being cut content, so there you go. These could simply be extra chapters or a side story unlocked after completing the main campaign even. We could also get extra scenes and dialogue in the original chapters that show more of Singularity's motivations, and more scenes of the main characters interacting with each other, especially the multiversal Bayonettas. We could get post-game chapters or scenes depicting Bayonetta and Jean's plan to somehow subvert the events we witnessed at the end of 3. After playing Origins, we already now know that Jean knew of her death ahead of time and had some kind of plan for surviving it. We have yet to see that plan in action, but it's there, and we're waiting. We know that Bayonetta somehow knew how to free up the multiversal Bayos during her fight with Singularity. How did she arrive at that conclusion? Why did she do what she did? We still don't know, but we want to find out. We also find it hard to believe Bayonetta would fall for the most obvious plot twist of Sigrid being Singularity. She's 600 years old after all, and she's known for being 10 steps ahead of the player and other characters at every turn. So when it comes to how gullible she looked at the end of Bayonetta 3, PlatinumGames could somehow walk that back too with some extra scenes. There's so many easy fixes here. And sure, it sucks that it got to this point, but one of the main writers of Bayo 3, Hideki Kamiya, is now gone from PlatinumGames, and a new director for Bayonetta 3 Definitive Edition would have the power to redefine this arc in Cereza's life. Will they do it though? That's another question, but I think this is one of the easiest things they could do in the world, and it's money waiting to be printed. A Bayonetta 3 Definitive Edition could also give us the easiest extra content in the world. A 2B costume for Bayonetta, and even an Astral Chain costume for her. I thought these were no-brainers for Bayo 3, but perhaps PlatinumGames couldn't fit them in the game since it already struggles to run a fluid 60 frames a second on the Switch 1. But speaking of which, since it would be on Switch 2, Bayonetta 3 Definitive could have a massive graphics overhaul, which is something else fans expressed is much needed for the game. It's no secret that all the extra gameplay functions and content in Bayonetta 3 pushes the Switch 1 way beyond its limits. This leads to most of the game not even having the full poly models on screen during gameplay, and even in some cutscenes. But the Switch 2 is shaping up to be leaps and bounds better, with power and even DLSS functionality. So, the jump in graphics could be even better than what we saw with the Tomb Raider reboot back when it was transitioned from the PS3 to the PS4 with its Definitive Edition. And that remake completely overhauled the graphics so much to the point that they even changed Lara Croft's face entirely, making her look like a new woman in the best way possible. That's also something I think Bayo 3 could use, honestly. Bayonetta 4 is likely still pretty far in the future, but PlatinumGames' recent announcement that they're going to have a steady stream of Bayonetta news for us this year is supremely exciting, and I for one can't wait to see what they have in store. Hey, who knows, we might even see her be featured in other games like Fortnite or something. But what do you expect to see this year? Comment your ideas down below so we can discuss it. I'd like to thank my patrons on Patreon for making these videos possible. If you would like to support me and have your name at the end of these videos as well, please click the link right in front of you. Afterwards, check out more of my videos like this one here on the right where I discuss what might happen with Bayonetta now that PlatinumGames has changed its personnel so much. I've been johtojonny, and I will catch you all there.